Northern Ireland, a land of natural beauty, historical past, and trouble. But now is the time for them to rise up and become a footballing superpower. This is Rise of a Nation with Northern Ireland. Hey guys, welcome to the end of season 2018-2019. This is the review. So let's have a look first of all at the official end of year review. Well, we won the league as expected. We knocked out in the group stages of the Champions League, which was an absolutely sensational result. We lost in the first knockout round of the Europa League after finishing third in the group stage to Leverkusen. We used 38 players this season. Again, it's just about rotating, trying to get as much development out of players as possible and trying to retain players as well. Average attendance, which that is skewed by the fact that we're in the Champions League. Those games do get a much bigger attendance. Overall, our average for the league was about 500 to 600. So it's about 25% of the stadium. So in terms of purchasing a new stadium, or building a new stadium, expanding the stadium, we're still 5-10 years off that. So we'll look to progress through Europe and such with what we've got. For the big Champions League games where our stadium doesn't fit, we go to Windsor, which I think is the national stadium in Northern Ireland. Somebody might be able to confirm or correct that. Match of the season, Crusaders 4-0 over Dungan, and moment forget was the 1-0 loss against Mallards, who seem to be almost our bogey side. We have lost them a few times. We won the Scottish League Challenge Cup for the first time, which is great. Won the Northern Irish League Cup and the Northern Irish County Antrim Cup Shield. And we had that disappointing loss in the last episode in the Northern Irish Cup final. Yeah, just usual. Yeah, cool. First of all, club development. As you can see, we are still improving the facilities of the club. It looks like we are going to go professional starting next season. The only chance of that not happening is, of course, if there is to be some financial catastrophe, which I don't expect to happen. Generally doesn't happen. I think the only thing, if I can think, that will stop that professional status happening in terms of FM is if we get bought out. There is no news on that at the moment, so there probably won't be anything until next season. Before next season, so we will be professional before we get some kind of board takeover. In terms of ball requests, there's nothing there. I can't increase the youth rating. This season we've got Borley Clare as a second affiliate club. I've got plenty of time left on my contract, so I'm not looking to sign a new one at the minute. In terms of building and expanding, as discussed, we don't get enough crowd, so there's no point asking for that. They won't accept it. There's no point putting pressure on that sort of things. In terms of finances, obviously this is due to the Champions League group stage. Just a huge influx of cash this season, and well, yeah, as you can see here, this season we have made a profit of just over £17 million. Last season we lost almost £1 million. So yeah, that group stage really canned us up in terms of financial stability. And overall, the projection is to steadily increase. I find it interesting that this coming season we're expected to lose money. Then all of a sudden we're supposed to make £5.5 million. I have no idea how that is calculated, whether we might have some contract sponsors expiring. Hopefully we can get some more sponsors, because at the moment just general finances for the league just aren't big enough for us to continue operating the way that I would like to. So we really need to continue getting into the later stages of the Champions League as we did this season. I don't expect group stage for another few years. I think it was just a bit of luck on our part, really. The teams we drew were a little bit weaker than what we could have had, and therefore we were able to penetrate into the later depths of the qualifying stages, and then on to the group stage. This season just gone. You can see here it was fairly reasonable. These losses are mostly in the Champions League. Again, I'll look to play some friendlies against bigger clubs. Try and improve our reputation and the overall club development as a whole. If we have a look at the club here, we can see that I'm still a favoured personnel. Hoping to progress into the legend status in time. At the moment, we've got above average youth recruitment. Can't improve that at the moment. Corporate facilities, that's all to do with the stadium itself. I don't think we can actually improve that. That would help with the sponsors if we can get better facilities than that. More larger corporations are more likely to invest into the club, therefore improving our income. Good youth and training facilities, I'm hoping to improve that. If I have a look at my book, I think it's great is the next standing. Is that right one? Don't think so. Yeah, I think it's great is the next standing. Let's have a look here. Good, great, superb, excellent, top. And impressive is the next training facilities number. So next season, I'm going to look to offload a lot of these players into our feeder clubs. Obviously we've got letting Fetus go. He's joining Arsenal for £1 million. And who else? There was another player who's leaving. Ross Bradley wants to leave. I'm hoping to get him for another £1 million as well. He's a good player, but I don't think he's anything more than Championship League One standard. So basically, trying to offload as many players as possible into Bangor. They're in the 3rd division, and then those that don't want to go to Bangor go to Ball Clare, hopefully, who second division. So that is the aim in terms of that. I've got a whole heap of staff changes I'm hoping to make. Mostly, as I've previously stated, Tim Hicks. I prefer to try and get him as a coach rather than an assistant manager. He doesn't really have the determination that I was hoping for in my assistant manager, which is why then I'm hoping. Well, I'm not going to re-sign him. Contract expires at the end of the season. As with all semi-professional clubs, staff can only be signed on 1-year deals. So that is that. Head of Youth Development, Nick Robinson, is also leaving the club. Again, it's purely down to that determination and personality. Just doesn't fit the mould that I would like with the Head of Youth Development. I've decided that I'm going to make a shift, changes to the club itself, which will deal with the transfers later. These staff changes, I think, are critical to the long-term development of the club. Just make these changes now. We've got a heap of finances we can afford to delve into the kitty of the club. And also, start next season going professional, there will be a lot better coaches out there who are willing to come to the club, and we will develop that. The next step is also trying to get more scouts into the club. Maybe look at these scouts and have a look at them. Maybe these two here offload to try and get some better, replace them with better scouts. Overall, scouts aren't too bad really. I still don't really judge there. I still don't really respect their final estimation of players' ability, as was seen by the transfer in of the goalkeeper in January, who didn't turn out anywhere near as good as what the scouts were suggesting. So next on the kit is player development. This season has seen good improvement across the board. If we just have a look at the general look at the plays, so we'll start with Nigel Rice, who the board is saying was a poor purchase. Now he has developed nicely, and he will continue to develop this next season. If we have a look at the attribute changes overall this season, you see he has a little bit of improvement to these big key stats. If you have a look at the technical abilities first. You can see that there is a general trend of them going slightly up. Throwing has gone up from 7.4 to 9.0 over the course of this season, and communication is generally his strong point. Now, there should be an easier way of doing this really. Start having a look at these mentals, which will develop over time. Got to remember that this guy's 18 or 19, so there's definitely a long period of growth still to occur, and overall he will hopefully develop into a very good keeper and somebody that we can actually retain. So far in 3 seasons we've lost 3 keepers to larger sides, so I'm hoping to hold on to Nigel Rice for the entirety of next season. More importantly is the fact that it will be our first season as a professional club, which should see that this development start heading further north and really improving at a rapid pace in comparison to the development over the last 3 seasons of players. Finally, the physicals. You can see here the biggest one was strength, which unfortunately is a very bad colour, and I can barely see it on my screen itself. It's almost easier to see over here. I started at 10.2 and finished the season at 12.6. So over a 2 attribute change over the course of 1 season, which is very, very good. Hopefully that will continue to change over the course of the coming seasons, and again, just going professional should certainly make that development much better. In terms of his contract, he's got another season on top of this, 2 seasons to go. Really, I'm hoping that he will hang around. In fact, let's have a look, see if we can get him onto a much longer term. There we go, we've got another season out of him. So the main aim here is just to keep developing players and hopefully holding on to them long term. There we go, so we've got 3-year contract signed, and the 2 go as I knock the microphone over. What else? Resolute personality, which is very good. Let's have a look quickly. His determination of 15, which really is important to the club as a whole. I think next year I might make him captain, and at the moment okay. Captain at the moment is the big man himself, Jonathan Galbraith. No, next season he will become the vice captain, and Nigel Rice will be captain. Backup keeper is Noel Mackle, a player who I'm looking to develop. Hopefully he'll develop into a long-term keeper that can retain for next 5-10 years and develop into a decent keeper, especially for this division. So next off the rank, you can see a decent determination again. Next off will be Tommy Speak, a player who has developed quite nicely this season and is definitely one of the players of the future. The 18-year-old, currently at 3.5 stars, and an unknown potential rating. Doesn't have that great attributes, but he seems to perform fairly comfortably every week. 6 to 7 is a decent overall rating, and he can play absolutely amazing games, and I expect him to progress into the Northern Irish national team. Again, that development will happen over time. You can see here changes. If you look at the changes in the attributes this season up till May, very good. A little bit of improvement, nothing really penalty taken, which doesn't really make a difference. Tackling has gone from 10.2 to 11. These changes aren't dramatic, which is a little bit disappointing. However, I didn't really start playing him consistently until the second half of the season. You can see there, didn't play in the Champions League. Did I get him in January? I did, which is probably why he didn't play that many games, or maybe it was towards the back end. We'll have a look at the transfers in. Tommy Speak. Oh, he was here in the side season. Okay, so that was my mistake. Yeah, he's a good little player. I reckon he can develop nicely, and we will continue to watch his development occur. Next off the rank, Kieran O'Neill, guy who's ambitious, low determination. It's a little bit disappointing. He's played fairly well. Long term, I'd like to replace him with someone who is as good, with the attributes I prefer. That determination is the biggest concern. Overall, pretty good fullback. He does perform fairly decently most weeks, although he had a poor game in that final of the Northern Irish Cup. Marking is decent, tackling is decent. A little bit of development this season. You can see here his work rate really jumped over this season. Yeah, he's made some improvement, but is kind of slowed, which I would put down to his determination. I'm not sure about next season. He is wanted by Aston Villa. If we do get 1.5, I may look to offload him. Again, it's just he's not quite developing as quickly as I'd like, and well, there are players out there who I would prefer just casually failing with English. Let's see the transfers in. Richard Kelly is a little bit slower, but overall his mental a little bit better, and I think that he would become a similar mould player actually, and he's a little bit younger by a couple of months. My main aim for all that fullback is, well, there hasn't really been anyone that's come out that's really jumped at me like, you must sign me, and it's a little bit concerning. That determination is really holding back his development. So we'll go back and have a look at the next player on the list. William Halliday. Yeah. First team keeper. First team for centre back. A player who is developing nicely. Good mentals, good physicals. His technicals could do with a bit of improvement. That will come. He still is only 19, so there's no real pressure at the moment for him to really step up. In fact, it's okay if they're a little bit slower this time, because it helps me develop the club and our reputation, and really develop a player who can stay with us long term, because the club has got a bigger reputation. He's been with us all 3 seasons, so yeah, he's developing nicely. He's got that upwards trajectory, and I've really been looking at those traits and developing them. So I'm getting to try and mark tighter, which will hopefully help with the marking attribute to dramatically increase. Next player to look at will be Philip Long. Phil Long is a player who has been very consistent since coming into the club at the start of last season. He's a player who, even at the Mallards, was consistent, and he has been consistent this year as well. you can see here over the course of the season, the last 20 games has been fairly consistent around that 7 to 8 rating. A couple of games down, but that's not too much of a concern. He's got a long-term contract, 4 years to be exact, and he's pretty good on both feet. The only concern really is that passing isn't great. Doesn't dive into tackles and marks opponents tightly, which is fairly good preferred moves. And again, that development, trying to get him into the ball playing so he can improve that passing attribute, which doesn't seem to be moving too quickly. Started 2 seasons ago was 6.8, so we've gone up 0.4 over 2 seasons. So yeah, again, not great. Improving that first touch in case those balls going back to him from the fullbacks when they don't really have anywhere, they go sideways, and improving that first touch and play that short, simple passes. Again, focusing on the fact that his passing attribute isn't great and it doesn't seem to be going anywhere. Just make sure that he doesn't look to play long balls, look to play short balls, because of the vision and the passing. He's got pretty good mental, so the concentration, decision making are all pretty good. I'd prefer him to have a bit better determination, but it doesn't concern me. It's not a 4 or 5, so it's not great, but it's not bad. Next player to be assessed will be David Harris. This is an interesting character. I've started playing a little bit more often. I'm looking for him to become that right winger. He's slowly learning that. His attributes are just flatlining. Determination is pretty good. So I'm hoping that over the next 12 to 18 months, as I give him more game time, those attributes will start to improve, and yeah, overall become a very good right winger. Again, looking at those preferred traits, David Harris is looking to develop his weaker foot just in case he does need to come back and board, and well, a very weak left foot could hold him back. Again, a player who came in at the start of the season for £53,000, already up to £68,000. I won't be looking to get rid of him, but if we were to get rid of him, it would have to be around the £1 million mark, purely on his potential ability. The fact that he's got very good attributes for a decent winger. He's got good pace, good natural fitness, good technical ability, good teamwork and determination. And these attributes will improve over time. He is only 19, don't forget, and he's only just turned 19 a few months ago. So again, he's a player that will no doubt improve over time and with more training and game time become a very good first team right winger. Steve Jarvis, another player who I didn't really play enough at the start of the season. It is his second season since joining us. He joined possibly January, maybe early in the season. Hadn't really played him enough, and to be honest, that was my mistake. He looks like a very good winger. I'm slowly developing him into that left winger in a bit more advanced role. His stats are starting to improve quite nicely. And again, it's that determination. It's 14, so it's pretty good, really. And over time, this is the kind of player that I want to get into the club and play, who has got decent attributes and a high determination. Where do we go next? We go with Stephen McKee, Our best centre mid by a fairly long margin, again, is a player that I'm developing into a defensive, deep line playmaker. Again, I was talking to maybe 3 or 4 episodes ago about him becoming that Tony Kroos, the guy who sits in and starts playing balls out. He wants to join Aston Villa. I've said, no, you're not going. He's got at least another season, full season with us. Maybe next summer, if he still continues to refuse to sign a new contract. Maybe look to get him off for a couple of million. Aston Villa would be my preferred place for him to go anyway, because if he was to develop quickly and with that 50% selling clause, he could go for 10 to 20 million pounds, and well, that would be a massive amount of money for a club like ourselves. If we have a look at his development, you can see his attributes are starting to progress in the correct direction. Balance has increased from 5.4 to 8.4 over the past over the past season, really. So that's some very, very good development. Another big jumper here is his work rate, which has gone to 9.8 from 7.8, so 2 attribute jump in one season, which is incredible. And if he can continue that development, then we could see ourselves with a very good player, and especially if I can get him onto a long-term contract, he could become a very good player. I'm looking to develop his weaker foot, which is going fairly well. I mean, it is reasonable, so he's not bad on his weaker foot. He's also got the killer ball, and it comes deep and tries long ball passes. Again, that's what I'm looking for him to do. Looking to break down oppositions, using his vision to get balls in behind the defence. Yeah. So that is what is in mind with us at the moment with Stephen McKee. I've got a few more players to go. Next I'll look at is Stephen O'Neill. Similar player to McKee. Similar player in that, well, his attributes are similar. First touch, passing, technique, vision. All those mentals are fairly decent for the role that he will be playing, which will be the more advanced role, the Dele Alli type player, running through the middle of the pitch. Pace isn't great. I like to get those up, but at the moment, his age of 20, I don't think those are really going to improve that much. So again, it's just developing those mentals, trying to hold on to him, and then using him as a tutor for the next group of youngsters to come through. This season was fairly weak on the intake, so I am looking to develop the mental side of our players. Jonathan Galbraith, the myth, the legend, that is Jonathan Galbraith. Again, developing the preferred moves to, well, just in case if we do hold on to him, he will become a player who can tutor the youngsters coming through. I don't think he can tutor until 24 from memory. So he's still got 6 years until we'll be able to use him as a tutor, which is a long time to try and hold on to a player such as himself. His development has been very, very good over the last season. Again, these attributes just flying. If we have a look at things like his technique, which hasn't really gone up that greatly, it's still 1 though, which is decent. Could be trained as attacking midfielder. I don't think so. He just can't really pass the ball. I mean, attribute of 9 is decent, but yeah, he's finishing, it's gone up 1 this season. Hopefully get that up a couple more. This is a guy who recently signed a new contract. I think he's got 3 years on his contract from memory. 2 years. So he's got at least 1 year with us in the professional status, and looks like he'll be happy to sign on for another year. There we go. Yeah, I'm happy to give him a massive contract because, well, the bigger the contract, the bigger the fee they have to pay. The bigger fee we can demand. Again, going full time will certainly help us out there. And the final player will be Luke Smith, a youngster from Australia, from my hometown, Melbourne, who looks like he is going to become an absolute monster, especially in this league. Again, he's only been here for a short time. Get rid of that. Why is it? Oh, I've forgotten to do that. My mistake. Okay. See, his attributes have already, in a month, gone up. Fairly good. Good determination, which is what we're focusing on. And that is what the final section of this episode is going to be about: transfers. This season has been a little bit weak on the transfer market. The youth intake was weak, so we're not really able to get anyone in, as already previously been stated in previous episodes. Gareth Heaney, a very good young centre-back, is coming into the club as more of a backup. I'll look to develop him. He's got some good mentals. Those preferred moves I will be focusing on marking tightly and making sure he doesn't dive into tackles, which could be a bit of a concern, especially at the centre-back position, giving away penalties and such. Dennis Kane. Yes, this is one of the guys that I'm bringing in purely for their determination, developing him. His personality's actually changed. It was determined, which is a little bit concerning because I was hoping he would help the overall balance of the club. Richard Kelly, just a guy, a little bit extra depth in the left full back, which is a little bit weak at the moment, and he's got a good potential rating, so hopefully he can develop nicely into a player who will certainly help us long term. Next player off the rank is Barry Riley, a very, very good young centre-back who is fairly determined and hopefully can develop into a very good player. Again, with Luke Smith, hopefully those two can develop into a nice little partnership. They may not play every game. They won't play many games together either because that's just not our tactic, but hopefully he can develop. And maybe I could pull him off that left side on as an inside forward, which is the second option I could do. But at the moment, very good young centre forward who will develop nicely, hopefully, and he will be joining us at the start of next season. Okay, now players coming in. We already have had a few. These 3 players, they're not great. They may become backups, but it's more for their personality. Fairly loyal with a decent mental attributes, which I will look to just hang around for the next 7 seasons in the reserves before they are able to tutor young players coming in. Hopefully by then their mentals will improve to a point where we are able to implement them into successful tutoring roles. Again, Mark Campbell here, who's a fairly determined personal with that high determination, good vision and teamwork. He is a player who could potentially be a decent backup as the advanced playmaker. You can see there that with that vision and the passing attributes, he could develop into a player who will gain shooter once he gets to a more mature age. Finally, Chad Bailey again, just for that determination, fairly professional. He will become, again, trying to shift the squad itself. So if we were to go back and have a look at the club itself, highly ambitious squad personality. Now, as much as that's good, it's not great. My aim is to become professional or a determined squad personality. Now, the point of this is that long term, it will improve the intake of our youths. If we can have a professional or determined squad personality, players coming in will have a greater determination attribute, and we will start getting rid of those players that are unambitious or balanced in their personality, which is another reason for my desire to change the head of youth development. Even though Nick Robinson's attributes aren't bad, it's just not. It's the personality and the determination which is the major issue that I have with him, and he is going to depart the club at the end of his contract. And I think that's it for this episode. It has been a longer one, as will all end of season reviews. Unfortunately, I forgot to do one last season. But overall, I think this is something that will give you a bit of understanding of what's happening in the background. Obviously, you do see the odd episode every now and then, which is the in-game and looking at the players themselves, but this is more looking at the background. What I'm aiming to do long term, how it's going, and how the development of the club's going as a whole. Finally, I will just have a look at Europe. Now, Northern Ireland didn't do great in Europe other than ourselves. If we have a look at the competitions themselves, looking at the Champions League and we've already done the Champions League, the Europa League, all three clubs. If we have a look here, we're 46 or something, aren't we? Yeah, all three clubs that went to the first round of the Europa League qualifying round. It's called the Euro Cup, isn't it? All three clubs that went into the first qualifying round lost. Glenavon lost 6-1 to IFK. Where's the next one here? Glantron lost on away goals to this club here from Luxembourg, which was disappointing. And finally, Carrick lost 1-0 to this club from Montenegro. No, Bosnia, and yeah, it's called Bosnia. That could be a little bit politically incorrect, but I don't know how to pronounce the second half of that nation's name. So let's have a look at the end of season highlights. Galbraith unanimously was player of the season from the fans. Goal of the season from Luke Smith, the young Australian. We'll have a look at this in multiple camera angles, just something interesting to look at. Stephen O'Neill to Smith. Oh wow. I want to pause that, and I can't actually show that. Okay, I'll have to do that outside of the game. Where is the preferences? Cancel. Preferences. Let's have a look at the replays. TV behind goal low. Confirm. yeah, so we'll have a look at this goal again in a different camera angle. Hopefully this will be a little bit better. And we'll make it a little bit more exciting. Okay, let's have a look at this goal again. Against unfirm line. Okay, so it's not going to change the camera angle, as I was hoping. Again, fantastic strike, a long way out, and a pretty good celebration as well. Marcus McManus was the signing of the season for $114k. He's gone up to £145,000, and he's developing nicely, as we saw. The young player of the season was Jonathan Galbraith. Let's have a look at Galbraith's season as a whole. 16 goals in the Champions League, 1 in the Europa League, 17 in the League, 2 in the Northern Irish Cup, 6 in the League Cup, 3 in the Antrim Shield, 2 in the Scottish League Challenge Cup, and he played 1 game off the bench in the reserves. He played 1 game for Northern Ireland in the European International League, and 1 game off the bench in the European Championship qualifying, and obviously the friendlies at the start of the season. At the age of 18, he's got 5 caps for Northern Ireland, and Northern Ireland has, they've dropped. What exactly happened? If we have a look, they lost to Romania 1-0 in the European Championship qualifying Group F. That's a group that I think they might be able to get out of. If they can beat Ireland and Cyprus and Romania in the second game, I reckon they could get into that second spot there. Obviously, Spain is the big club in a big nation in that group stage. Is this the? I don't know about the qualifying for the European Championships. Is there just 1 round of qualifying? It doesn't seem like there was a round before it, and it doesn't seem to be anything either. It is for next season, so I don't think so. It's a bit late if there was to be a second round. Obviously, Johnny Evans being sent off against Romania was a bit of an issue there. So I think that's it for this episode. Again, it's a long one for the reviews. Just have a look at the background information of the club itself. We'll come back for the first lot of qualifying for us, which I think is going to be the second round of the Champions League. Overall, financially, we've got £5.1 million in the transfer kitty, 32,000, another 12, and almost 13,000 per week in the wage budget, which won't be used. Again, don't have any real spending to happen in transfers. Once we go professional, I'll have a look at the likes of Stephen Davis, who I don't think is yet to sign a new contract, seeing as he is transfer listed. No, I think we're the only club interested in him. So I'll declare interest for him. I think he's a very good player. It'd be very, very good for us long term as well to also do some tutoring. He's turning 34, but I reckon we can get 3 or 4 seasons out of him. Yeah, 110 caps for Northern Ireland, and I reckon he's got 1 or 2 years left on the international stage as a whole. Another one I'm looking at would be Lee Camp, who is less likely to come to us. Rotherham are less likely to sell him. But again, I think he's a very good player. His contract expires at the end of the season as well. Rotherham are going down to League 1. He might decide that he doesn't want to play there. Again, once we go professional, we will be in a much better position to start striking deals for existing English-based Northern Irish players. Yeah, if we just have a look at Northern Irish as a whole, Will Grigg is also a player that I'm looking at. He has gone down to League 1 with Wigan. Oh, they went down, yeah, they're going up. If we have a look at League 1, they are, I think, going up. If we have a look at the profile, I think they got promotion, finishing second behind Nottingham Forest. So again, I don't think Will Grigg will be available to us, but I like to get him in purely to terrify the defences of our opposition. And again, just a player who we will look to tutor the youngsters with. Just long term is just the focus of that. So this will be the end of the episode. I know it's the third time I think I've said that this will be the end of the episode, but this is it. If you enjoyed the episode, do leave it a like, and if you're new, subscribe for more Football Manager content from Northern Ireland. Until next time, I've been James. You've been great. Thank you for watching. Goodbye for now.